Welcome to this how-to video about importing bank transactions and setting up matching rules that will automatically code each transaction to the correct revenue and expense account for you. We're going to take you through, firstly, where to find the help file to make it very easy for you to initially set up and import and matching rules. We're going to take you through the import options that you have when you bring in your files. Then we're going to take you through setting up the matching rules. Then we're going to have a quick look at the template, and then we'll take you through the process of actually importing and confirming the transactions. So first step, just to show you where to find the help file. When you first go into Shoebooks, if you click into the Imports module, down into Bank Transactions, and up onto the Help tab, it will take you straight to the help file, which will detail exactly what this video is all about. It will take you through the types of options you got when you first do an import. We just keep scrolling down, a preview of your results, setting up your matching rules, and so on. So if you ever get lost, feel free to click on that help file, and that will take you straight to the instructions for banking imports. So if we just go back, now we're going to have a look at the different options. So the first screen that you come to is options. We've also got the rules tab. So if I click on rules quickly, which just takes you to where you can set up your matching rules, we're going to come back to that. If we just stick with options, when you import a file, we've got a whole range of different options you can select as defaults. If you haven't already covered these off in your import file, I'll just quickly take you through them. You've got choose the file. It's just where you've located it on your desktop once you've downloaded it from your bank. The file format, we accept tab delimited or CSV format. The majority of people use the CSV format. When you first do an import, you can select the date of the transaction. You can select the bank account that it's for. So if you've got multiple bank accounts. Divisions, so for those who don't know, we've got a division capability within Shoebooks. You can actually assign either a default or another division to transactions when they're imported, and then some defaults. So if you haven't set up matching rules, these are the areas that transactions will be defaulted to if the rules haven't been applied. So again, you've got in credits and debits. A couple of little tips here. If you're using credit cards, for the credits, you'd actually select card refund, and for debits, you'd select card charge. Over here, you can select the different tax codes that are associated with each, and a default revenue or expense account. So now, before we actually import a file, let's have a look at how to set up the import template correctly. I'll just bring up a spreadsheet. If you don't have access to our templates, you can certainly get them from our support page, but they're very simple with the bank transactions. Here's an example of one that we can certainly give you. On the first worksheet down the bottom here, it's just got a rundown of the field types that you can have in here. There's a couple of optional notes. You can also, when you originally bring in your import files, you can actually select the expense accounts within the file import. Most people tend to use the matching rules to do this. But just an example of what it looked like. Again, your CSV file downloads from your bank will be very similar to these. The major differences will be the names of the header accounts in the file. So with our import files, they need to be named as date, and then the date range, as you can see here, the amount, self-explanatory, and then memo, which covers off the description. So very easy to actually set it up. Most people just need to change these when they first download a CSV file. A little tip here for Mac users: when you save the file, it needs to be saved as even for Windows, a CSV file, but the Macs are a little bit different. Just make sure that when you do a save as, that you actually select the format as Windows common separated CSV file. So not the defaulted Mac. I'll just cancel out of that. So that's a simple template setup that you can use, and again, you can get that via our support screens and help menu. So if I go back into the import module, what we're going to do now is have a quick look at how to set up matching rules. The matching rules is actually very, very simple to use, and there's a couple of tips here so you can increase the likelihood of matches being applied. So just to go through the options that you've got here, they are very self-explanatory, but you've got a range of different orders that you can have the matching rules. The actual name of the matching rule, so here we've got Officeworks. You can have notes against it, so if you want a bit more detailed, if you want to go back, if you've got 10, 20, 30, 40 different matching rules, just to make it a bit easier to identify what you have, what it applies to, so whether it's credits and debits or all, the different expense or revenue account that the transaction needs to be matched against, different tax rates they can use. You can actually assign a supplier to the transaction, and then you've got your edit and delete buttons. And just to give you an example, I'll use the bank merchant example I've got here, which is just effectively bank transactions that are coming in. So if I can quickly change it, you'll see here a little tip is using wildcards. So you can use wildcards at either the start or at the end of the description or both, and that will actually pick up any type of transaction that's got bank merchant in the import field. Will actually pick it up and then code it to the right account. A little description here is a note, which is just bank interest. Again, you could actually change it and say it's for credits only or debits only, but let's leave it at all. The different expense account, so this is actually allocated to an income account. You can either type in the number of the chart of accounts that you want, or if you just type in and I'll just put in income here, which will pick up a whole range of income accounts, and I'll just select finance charge income, just an example. Apply either GST or no GST, depending on what account it is, and then hit the little green button to confirm it. As simple as that. Fantastic way. If this is the first time you're doing it, you might want to get your bank statement, actually set up your rules before you do an import, or you can always come back once you've done an import and set it up for the next time you do it. Very easy. So let's just take you through now how to actually import it and then confirm the transactions. So if I go back into options where we originally were, and we select on the file type, so I've already got a populated template with a few transactions. We'll select CSV format. The date, let's go back and select to enter in 31st of October, just for this example. We'll leave it with the CBA. We'll leave it just with default division, and I'm going to leave these for now. I could change these if I wanted to change the default account if we didn't have any matching rules set up. Next step is to preview it, and the preview screen down here will actually just show you exactly what's happening before you do an import. So you could always go back and change the import template before you actually do an import. But you'll see here the date of the transaction, different codes, the memo that's picked up from the template, the bank account, the expense account that it's going to be coded to, GST accounts, the amounts. But over here you'll actually see whether a matching rule has picked up the transaction. Obviously rule 6 is the matching rule for Caltex, which will be going to petrol. Default means that there is no matching rule and it will be going to the default expense account we've set up here. So again, I could always go back and actually set up the rules before we do the import, but for this example, let's just do it and to take you through to confirmation. So once we're happy, we click on import. We could actually reset the file and do it all again, but let's just click import. That will go through and bring up a finalized import screen. If there's any errors, an error would be shown. But for example, here you can see that the Caltex transaction's been imported to a transaction and the code, the expense account with the rule associated, and so on and so on. So there's no errors in this field, and the import's done. All we now need to do is actually confirm the transactions. So if we go over to main menu, click in banking, and in here let's just put in the transaction date. So we'll just do from the 1st of October through till the 31st of October. We'll select the right bank account. It's the CBA. I'm going to do entry status as unconfirmed transactions. Click on search. That will bring up all the transactions we've just imported. If we need to make a change in here before we actually confirm the transaction, we can quite easily click on the transaction, make the change within here, if it actually did go to the wrong account. But if they're okay, the quickest way to do this is actually do a select all, confirm, and you're done. Nice and easy. So again, if you've got any more issues with importing transactions, simply go to the help file as I showed you before, or watch this video, or give us a call and we can walk you through it. Thanks for your time.